Okay.
Dear Earthmates, we are visiting Burkhard Herbote in Deutschland, near Dortmund, right?
Correct.
And this is our first uh, gathering, actually. We were introduced thanks to our mutual friend, George Onsi, in
Yes.
Cairo, Egypt, for a humanitarian causes. And we enjoyed each other's energy, and now we're together.
Correct.
And uh, you said some fantastic things about tourism and peace, whatever, those things. And so the only thing I know is that you're interested in tourism and peace. Is that true?
I I am interested in bridging people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different religions, to connect them, to learn from each other. So this does not need to be tourism, but the tourist industry, of course, has a big tool in their hands, which is their own industry. And of course, it's a little bit playing with words. Is it tourism? Is it travel? Travel is more what you are doing, and tourism more is the industry itself. So, but let's say travel and tourism, and you cannot mix it. It is mixed. You cannot split it, I want to say. And when I started, so my question, and you are a philosopher, where does interest come from? I come back to peace and tourism, but first, you have an interest. You have been a child. You decided very early to become an author. Why? Why you did not decide to become a farmer? Why you did not decide to become an astronaut? Why you did not decide to become a policeman or a firefighter or whatever? Very often the children decide to get the job what the parents are doing, very often. But I was reading your story. You sent me a story about yourself.
Oh.
And there are some synergies. I was a very, very frequent visitor at our local small library, which here in Germany is organized by the city or it is organized by the church. And here it is organized by the Catholic Church. And at least once, if not 2 times per week, I went there with an old bag of my grandmother, and always I bring 3 books back and take new 3 books. And it was even before I really was able to read. I just was looking the pictures. And some books were for my age, so stories, children's stories, but other books were for other cultures, about other cultures. So I was looking how the people live in India, how the people live in South Africa, and then I was connected with, let's say, confronted with countries I never heard. I was a child. I was 7, 8, 9 years old, and then my mother's still alive. She's 84. Maybe 5 years ago, she told me, I was not aware. She told me that she got a telephone call from the director of the library, and he was asking, Miss Herbote, do you know which books your son is looking here for? And she said, no idea. She get in panic, drama. She thought that I just look books where I can see pictures from naked women or something like this. And no, it was a picture books from illustrated books from other cultures. And I was 8, 9 years old. Why I have this interest with 8, 9 years old? And once I got what is the English word? An atlas? Is it also English word?
Yes.
Okay. An atlas, and then I was looking, where are these countries and the small countries, and here is an island, there is an island, are there living people, or is it just ice bears or penguins or whatever? And so I learned a lot in geographics, and when I went to higher classes at school, I could be the teacher for geographics better than our teacher. And so my first interest was, let's say, culture and ethnology. Mm. And I did not know the word ethnology, but I was interested in this. I know the word archaeologist, which I was a little bit an archaeologist, and culture and history and mixed together. I learned about colonial history and the relationship with the colonial country, so. And everything belongs together. And of course, this also overlaps with tourism. And so that tourism was a result of my childish research. Of course, I was not aware about. And it took some time. I never, ever had any problem with anybody from any other country. I had some problems with some individuals, because an idiot you have everywhere. But this is not a question of the passport or the color or the religion or the nationality, nothing. And so to me, coming to today, an intercultural society does not mean that you have to give up your own culture, your own family, your own history. No. It makes you more rich. It is not a danger. Mm-hmm. In principle. Of course, there can be some movements who want to, of course, but then you realize, and you never ever say all. Some people say, also here in Germany, all foreigners are so and so, or all Muslims are so, or all Arabs, or all Turkish, or all whatever. Nonsense, pure nonsense. And this prejudice exists everywhere. Yeah. So, and between Tamils in the south of India and the people in north of India, or whatever. And maybe this is some human that we as a human beings need something to say, I'm better than you. because you are different because of another religion, so you are wrong. and this is, of course, nonsense. But when I'm telling this here now, I recall in several online meetings or Facebook groups or whatever, intercultural dialogue, interreligious dialogue, where a lot of, especially Muslims, would kill me. And no, you are wrong because only we are right. And so, of course, this is stupid. Of course, this is wrong. But sometimes we don't know exactly what is 100% correct. And sometimes what is correct today was not correct yesterday or tomorrow, will not be tomorrow. So the truth also is a development. And I realize that, especially coming, so interreligious dialogue is also part of tourism. Not just Hajj in Saudi Arabia. We have also in the Christian culture, there is some kind called Hajj. It's pilgrim here and there. It is not a rule. You don't have to do it. It is voluntary. But so this also is a big business. However, we need to find architects like you and me and others who have no fears to speak with people who have a different background and who create bridges. And whether this is called tourism, whether this is individual travel and that people do it on their own, whether it is writing books, being an author, travel books, travel guides, or whatever books, everything what opens, there is a world behind of your horizon. This brings people together, And sometimes I'm very frustrated when I see let's say, no, I'm prejudice, let's say stupidity of a lot of people. They are not interested, only interested in how much money I have in my pocket at the end of the month. And what are the rate of my football, my soccer team? That's all what they are interested. But there are also a lot of people who are very open-minded, but you need to knock at their door a little bit to touch them. And they have fears to open their spirit because of whatever experiences. And so talking. I'm talking now like a waterfall, but
wonderful. Thank you.
I'm now Nigeria Falls here, and to get this done is not 100% the job of travel and tourism, but this is a huge percentage of travel and tourism. And finally, I created when I was, let's say, between 15 and maybe 30. I had a very, very huge archive in the house of in the basement of my parents' house, with hundreds of files of folders with information about, finally about all countries in the world. And think about this was in the time before internet. And and in this time, it was also time of the Cold War. So we had several walls, not just in Berlin, several political walls. And I started let's say, an information source, an information archive about, let's say, general difficult countries. So a difficult country was not Germany or Turkey. This was not the point. Turkey maybe was difficult because of military government, but this is another issue. A difficult country, for example, was to get information about Cambodia, about Mongolia, about Angola, Mozambique, and so some countries just became independent out of the colonial system from Africa, and they just started. And this was my archive was was mentioned in some German media, and I got a lot of requests. And I decided on myself that I cannot manage all these requests. Number one, because this takes too much time. Number two, when I make a lot of photocopies, I, of course, also ignore some copyrights, which will be happen automatic. And I decided to create directory. So a source of the sources. And it is very easy to divide. You have 200 countries and you have 200 files, 200 chapters. You make a structure of categories and you go through I had this archive built over years. I put in with my very, very old, very first computer, hundreds of thousands of pieces. Wonderful. To get this thing done. And then when you have it finished as far as you can, you see where are gaps, and then you have to fill the gaps. So, and then step by step by step by step, I created a very heavy, very expensive book published by an American publisher first. It was the company Gale Research. They had the head office in Detroit. And meanwhile, the company, so far I know, is sold to Carnegie, which belongs to the education publishing branch. And in my times, it was the world leader of the world leading publisher of academic reference publications. And so their most customers have been, in my case, not the tourist industry, it were libraries. And libraries, of course, is not just only public libraries, it is also a hand library, which are used by government agencies or whatever. And so my first book was published in 91.
Very exciting.
And I got an invitation to go to Detroit and signed a contract, and we made an agreement. And the first title was Worldwide Travel Information Contact Book. It was the first title. And it was published sometimes. And then I got in contact with the World Tourism Organization, which is an organization similar like UNESCO, UNICEF, World Health Organization. So one of this, I don't know exactly, 35 organizations, which makes the United Nations. And meanwhile, they changed the name a little bit. It is UN, World Tourism Organization, because WTO, the abbreviation, was used by the World Trade Organization meanwhile. So they make UN, World Tourism Organization, and they are based in Madrid. And they said, Burkhard, what you are doing here, we should do, but we cannot. We are an intergovernmental organization. 70% of the people here were sent by their government. They work here for 3-4 years, and then they go. And what you are doing, you need to have a memory. When the people change and change and change again, there is no memory. And so they asked me, can we do this together somehow? I said, yes, you meet open doors with me. And I make the book and we write in association, in cooperation with World Tourism Organization, something like this. I have given this information to my publisher and I thought they would be very positive surprised. They have been positive surprised because this was, let's say, a proof of the high quality of my work. But on the other hand, they said, Burkhard, we don't do it. Even if the president of the United States is coming, the White House, and say, we want to make a book with you, we will not do it.
Why not?
We will make a book only with our name. And there's nothing, not even one book in our thousands of books catalog in association with. So, and then I changed to another publisher. I changed to the company KG Sauer, which is in Munich. It is a German company, but they publish a lot in English. And it is Europe's largest publisher for reference publications. And then they started also to make a promotion in the tourist industry, because also they had this interest with the World Tourism Organization. So I brought them together on the same table at the Frankfurt Book Fair. And so it worked out, and this was very, very positive. And then also my publication was available in the tourist industry, where it should be at the beginning already. And so, but all the time I was thinking, this is not just to make money. This is not just to connect company A with company B. There is something behind of this. And a lot of people working in tourism, when you talk to them and you talk about peace and tourism, they say, yes, of course, this is, we bring people together, and of course this will reduce misunderstandings, and yeah, but they don't think about without pushing them to think about. And so I learned about a friend of mine. He meanwhile is, I think, 85. He was a tourism industry consultant in the United States and Canada. His name is Louis Damour. He created an international institute for peace through tourism. But finally, this is more or less a one-man show. Of course, he has people around. And now when he became older, he was also open to get some more consultancy. And I think this organization will become more in the mind of the people. But so far, I know the ordinary people, the normal tourist guide, a normal employee of a tour operator or a travel agent or airline or hotel, they never heard about. I hope, of course, I need help. I need a lot of help. I cannot do it alone. finally, it's just my idea, and I would love to give my idea in more professional hands. But my idea is to create an international association for peace through travel and tourism. And this should support also the work of the institute, which maybe one day became an institute belonging with a university or whatever. And all of these institutes, all of these associations, they are absolutely underfinanced. Everything what is peace and culture and education is underfinanced. And some people also say, oh, let's not talk about peace. This is like chewing gum and it does not bring anything. And I cannot hear it anymore. I heard this very often. And so they are not against peace, of course not. They are not against peace, of course not. But sometimes this work is like
too utopian, too distant. But they take the concept of peace in a very narrow sense. Peace is necessarily not international, not lack of war, but in human relations, in our relationship with ourselves. With our children, with our friends. There's always a tendency of conflict, interconflict, and the alternative, peaceful interaction. So peace is a daily issue.
It's daily work. It is daily work.
Exactly. So it's a broad concept.
Peace, as you said, first begin with yourself, inside of yourself. You need to have inner peace to make outer peace. You need to understand that peace and love goes together. And love is not just the love with your wife or husband, or children or whatever. Love is much more, and peace is much more. Peace is not just no war, as you said. Peace is also to have clean drink water. Peace is to have somehow security in your legal system where you live. And you can trust the police. So we have a lot of refugees in Germany, and the people first need to learn that here they can trust the police. I don't say police
is extraordinary for many parts of the world.
Yeah, but when you came from Iraq, it is different. So, peace is well-paid jobs, and this also overlaps with tourism. So when you see, for example, tourism is not perfect. It depends. It depends also where is this business. When I make it generic, in the Gulf countries, from Kuwait to Oman, so all the Emirates and Qatar, Bahrain, there are a lot of very, very excellent luxury hotels. But a lot of people cleaning the rooms, they are very, very bad paid. And this is not correct. So when it is a lodge in Malawi or in Tanzania somewhere, this is something else. A lodge is not something what brings $100,000 of revenues every day. But in these hotels, this is the case. And they should pay the people correctly. And so I would say in Southeast Asia, you have some hotspots for prostitution. So prostitution, you can say with moral words or not, or I would say as the bad side starts when there is a misuse.
Yes.
And misuse is not only when a man is buying a woman. Misuse starts before, when the woman is, she has a feeling, I have to do this, otherwise my family cannot survive. So we need to bring this woman and these families into the position that they have more income, that they don't need to make this job. True. When a European is sleeping with a woman in Thailand and they love each other, so they should do it. That's not the point. I'm talking about what is behind of the scene.
Yes.
And
human trafficking.
Yeah. And so this overlapping, all is overlapping. You cannot say here is a border. No. The border is like this.
Yes.
So, so I want to create, as I said, this association. I don't know how to do it. I also made a registration of an internet site. So internet domain, International Association for Peace Through Travel and Tourism is IAPTT, and I have iaptt.org, but this is, I cannot use it. So I'm not a website designer. I simply want to have somebody saying, hey, Burkhard, I will do it with you. Let's start somehow. I can make a website, give me your domain, and we will start. So, and I have some text which we can start. And so, but I am alone. I'm alone, and also because of COVID, I also had some financial problems, and I'm not in the position. I'm not a one-man publishing company. So I'm an author, I'm an editor working from my home office, like you, like most authors, and I need publisher, online marketing agency, an organization which helps me. And for my directory, which of course overlaps a little bit with this association, for my directory, I hope to be able to get a stone rolling to create another organization which can work together with the other one, but which is separate, which is an international chamber of travel and tourism. A chamber of commerce is also an association. It is a local or regional or national association combining all the industries in this particular country, and they are a counterpart of the government. So this is private sector, this is government. And with tourism, we have, as I said at the very beginning, the World Tourism Organization. The World Tourism Organization has about 160, 165, I don't know exactly the number, members. So it means a member is a government. And we have around 200 countries, and not all countries participate. But it is a government organization, and they don't have a counterpart. Of course, there is you are in United States, you have an US Hotel and Motel Association, Lodging Association. There's a Turkish Hotel Association, there's a German Hotel Association. There is an International Hotel and Restaurant Association. Some similar with aviation, some similar with travel agencies, with tour operators, with rent-a-car, whatever, or until diving or mountaineering or whatever. But you don't have a platform where all these different segments, which produce the world's largest employer. The tourist travel and tourist industry is the world's largest employer. And they don't have an umbrella organization. They have the World Tourism Organization, but this is government. It's 100, 160, 65 members, and maybe 700, 800 affiliate members, that's all. But the tourist industry itself has about, nobody knows exactly, 14 million companies, which probably employ around 400 million employees. What means it brings food, milk, water, whatever, for maybe 1 billion people.
Wow.
So when you go with your wife to a pizzeria around the corner, you don't feel like being a tourist because it's around the corner of you. And but when you invite me, I come over to you and I go there. I feel like being a tourist. So it means the travel belongs. So you travel 5 minutes and I travel 10 hours. And when there is a chance to bring all these companies together, what I'm not naive. I don't say we will have 14 million members. Of course,
no, but it is good to have that ideal.
Yeah. So this is a target. So
yes.
I even think I did not decide yet because there is not the time to decide. But I think about maybe even it makes sense to give a free of charge membership for a basic membership, so that we are able to also get the, let's say, the travel agent from Honduras or Vietnam and the Fiji Islands, and a safari operator from Kenya and Ethiopia, and but also a hotel chain in Turkey. So, but to bring them together to represent the interest of the tourist industry and not of the tourism politicians only. And of course, like any chamber of commerce, we also need to have a commercial branch. You always need 2 legs, 2 feet to stand and to walk, and the same with these organizations. And we need to sell something, what makes sense for the industry. This can be digital programs, from accounting programs to payment systems in the tourist industry, from reservation systems to whatever is needed in the hotel industry. A very big problem at the moment is that a lot of hotels, you only can make reservations via this online booking engines, Expedia, Booking.com, whatever. And so you get a what is this in English? Maybe the hotel has 500 rooms and you are Expedia, you get 100 rooms, you are Booking.com, you get 200 rooms, and the other 200 get 25 other organizations. And you call one of these 25 other ones and they have just 2 rooms, but you need 3. And then you have a problem. And yes. And when you make a booking, the other one don't know exactly in the same minute that this room already has been booked.
I see.
And this overbooking. Overbooking can happen very quick.
Yes.
And cancellation will be the result, and so on and so on. I just mentioned this as a simple example that the hotel industry, of course, has other problems than the aviation sector.
Yes. Excuse me. We have very little time left, unfortunately. And I am so excited. You have your project, your path is so exciting, inspiring. And the Earth Civilization Project, which is an invitation to all Earthmates, actually, to contribute. We need, in addition to organizations, we need a synergy that cannot be measured, maybe, but we need to try to embrace the infinite dimensions of life. And you are a wonderful Earthmate. I'm so happy, and we are together. And unfortunately, this is for the moment. Please write more about this, and please send me your CV so that you will have a more younger generation will also be attracted to help you, I'm sure. And
yeah, I'm very open. Of course, younger people are more flexible.
Dear Earthmates, now we can continue. Yes, please, dear Burkhard Herbote.
Okay. Thank you to give me some additional minutes to finish my waterfall speech. As you said, I have a lot of energy. Yes, I have, but of course I'm limited on other fields. You need to have a lot of enthusiasm and my God, ideologist to do something like this. So I wanted to say, just to finish my started information about International Chamber of Commerce, International Chamber of Travel and Tourism, which will be like an International Chamber of Commerce, that of course we also, it is not just a political branch, it is also a commercial branch. It has to be. And that we will offer the members products and services from consultancy services. So consultants can come to us, we will find their customers, customers come to us, we will find the expert for whatever consultancy. And we will offer digital projects where they have to pay a license to become a customer of Amadeus, which is a booking engine or whatever. And when they are a member of the chamber, they can get it with a discount. So to be a member never ever can be a disadvantage, and they only have to pay when they need a service. When they don't need a service, they don't have to pay a membership. So this is an online-based chamber, and of course the members are the value, and this needs time to grow. And we do not want to make any competition to the World Tourism Organization, not at all. We have another organization called World Travel and Tourism Council. This is a council. They also just have 150 members, which are very high level representatives of important companies in tourism. They make a very good job. Some people said to us, oh, you make competition to them. No, definitely not. We will be an addition, and we will help each other. Okay, this is music of the future. I cannot do this alone. I need to have qualified people which are willing to invest time to open their network, to maybe also invest some money, or to find some investors, because of course we need to start, we need money to be able to work. Some people need to invest their time and they need to pay their rent during this time. So we need to start. I don't want to compare it with United Nations, but also the United Nations started somehow, somewhen. And so this is what has developed from the times when I was 7, 8 years old and reading the books from our local library. And of course, the director of our library was not aware about when he telephoned my mom and said, hey, do you know which books Burkhard is taking here?
Wonderful.
But it is a long story. Now I'm 57. And
only 57.
I'm 57. That's sometimes I feel my brain is younger, but my body is older. I try my very best. And beside of this international network I have around the globe, if you want to get a contact in the island of Nauru in Pacific or in the Vatican, I can make it very simple. When I was a child, and you will like it being a poet, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. I was not at school. Before school, we had a house with 2 floors, and I was in the kitchen of my grandmother, and I was telling to her, I see myself on the roof of family so-and-so. Family so-and-so was our neighbor, but the next ground was empty. There was no building. And the ground of the family, they have 2 grounds. So it means that there was some space between, and they had a large garden with grass. And I said to myself, hey, I'm seeing myself on the roof of this house, and all the garden is full of musicians with all instruments, and I am the director, and they make the music I want to play. I was 5 years old. And
wonderful.
And Tarek, you have unmuted me. Do you know? Is
Pardon?
it? I hope it worked out because you have unmuted me. I just have seen
Oh,
this.
I unmuted myself.
Ah, okay. This was another signal, symbol here. Okay, forget it. Of course, this come together. And now when I'm sitting here online and I see I have the desktop version of WhatsApp and I have thousands contact here in 160 countries. And if necessary, I can make a contact to the Central African Republic and to the Fiji Islands or Mongolia, even North Korea. Believe it or not, people don't believe it, but yes, I have a contact. And it is like being I'm the director. It does not mean that they always play like I want, but I'm trying. And so in my private life, I'm here also very busy since, well, I started when I was 14 in 1979, but it was without a structure. With a structure I have now since 12, 13 years. It is a so-called integration guide. So this has nothing to do with my work with tourism. It has to do with my, let's say, autodidactic learned skills about intercultural communication. So our municipality came to me and said, Burkhard, can you help us? We want to enter into a program by our government. They want to have groups of so-called integration guides in a lot of cities to help foreigners to arrive in Germany. To arrive in Germany does not mean logistical help. It means cultural help. And from translations to invite them for your birthday party or whatever, so that they have no fears to enter our culture. And so I like this idea very much. And of course, because of the political developments in Middle East and the refugees we have here in Germany since 2014, of course, in the last year, there's a special focus on the refugees. And so that means that I was in charge to help a family from Somalia, a single woman from Somalia. Even my elder mother, which is now 84, she made she helped skilled children with their homework from school and things like this. And so this is grassroots work at the front. And I learn a lot every day when I work with these people, and I hope they also learn a lot. And this is peace work directly at the front here in front of my house.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, nothing to do with my big picture thinking, dreaming about International Chamber of Travel and Tourism, but inside of the person of Burkhard, this is overlapping.
Wonderful. And one of the things about the tourism sector that can be improved is, as you know, some package tours, they take people to certain places, they show places without any direct contact with the local population.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
People go there, but they do not listen to any local people. So this could be added maybe.
Of course. I never said everything is perfect in tourism. What you now mention is not perfect. And this is a justified.
I'm sure you something you already know anyway.
Yeah.
It was just to mention.
So we have this. What is this word? All inclusive.
So, yeah, but that doesn't include all, unfortunately. I mean, more plus one, all inclusive plus one. Communication with local.
Yeah. So, but when you book in a hotel, and this was very famous, at least from Germany, in Gambia in Africa and Senegal, this was a negative example. They book all inclusive, what means that the money goes to this hotel. This hotel belongs to a chain, which is head office is in Switzerland. And so not even $1 remains in the country. Of course, it gives some jobs to some people, yes, of course, but the people don't go out to a local restaurant.
True.
They maybe buy some souvenirs, but that's all. And so this is something which should be changed. Also the awareness of where tourism is negative for the environment. This is different from region to region, from city to city. But of course, something general is negative, and we need to work very intensive to reduce the CO2 production, for example, by cruise lines. This is a very, very big problem. It's much, much bigger problem than with the airlines. The airplanes are flying higher and higher and higher, and as higher they fly, as less CO2 they produce. And and even I know, just because it's important to know, that there is a Swedish company. They try to get produced jumbos in the next 10, 15, 20 years, which are flying with solar energy.
I didn't catch the word. They are planning to do what, or make what?
So it is a company, an aviation company. They produce airplanes.
Yes.
So, and they search about to, meanwhile, they have airplanes with 20, 25 people. They already can fly with solar energy.
Wonderful.
So they only need kerosene to start and for the landing process, but not so. And I'm not an expert in this at all, but we need, I will say everything will change in the future. And of course, the environment, climate change, climate-friendly travel is very, very, very important, elementary important. And I hope I'm able to support this climate-friendly travel energy as much as I can. And of course, if I have a chance to get this International Chamber of Travel and Tourism on the road, then of course I will have the chance.
Wonderful.
That's my vision. This is which started when I was 5 years old on the on the chair of my grandmother looking to the neighbor, or when I was in the library and have seen the books from pictures from around the world.
Thank you so much, dear mate Burkhard. And we're together. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored to be with you.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, dear Earthmates, another inspiring Earthmate. Let's go ahead, in spite of all negative things, there are positive things, more positive things are happening. There are more positive people than others. Take care. We're together.